But I mastered that style. It's like the 5 deadly venoms. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, he could destroy him.
Believe in that, for real. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I return to you as Egovel Outlaws. The day I got out of jail is a motherfucking problem to be where the fuck you was from. Now let's get into it. Now I had to cover this. First of all, I want to say shout out to Money Mayweather. Turned 39 years old today. And he did an interview with Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. Make sure you check out their website. And basically he was saying that even if he fought Golovkin, he would have beat him. And if he would have beat him, people would still complain. Here's a direct quote from Mr. Floyd Mayweather. Once I fought and beat everybody, first it was Mayweather was scared of this guy. What'd I do? I beat him. Mayweather scared of that guy. I beat him. Mayweather scared of this guy. I beat him. It's getting to a point that if me and Triple G would have fought when I was fighting, I would have beat him. And guess what? There's going to be an excuse. Now it's time for me to go to 168 pounds. That's what he's referring to. He goes on to say, while you guys are saying, I hate Floyd Mayweather, fuck Floyd Mayweather, I don't like Floyd Mayweather, at the end of the day, every month, I get a 7-figure check, and I'm very comfortable and happy with that. It's not bragging, not boasting. I'm happy because I went out there and earned it the hard way. The good old American way. I went out there and worked and busted my ass. It's never enough, never enough. That's what he says. For the full article, you could definitely go to Fight Hype's website, fighthype.com. Now, I got to give my 2 cents. In my opinion, Floyd Mayweather is 100% unequivocally right. It wouldn't be enough because Pacquiao wasn't enough. That was the person that Mayweather was supposed to lose to. They did polls before Mayweather Pacquiao saying it was like 70+% of the people said that Pacquiao would win. After what happened, oh, watch that shit in slow motion, 1,000 frames per second. No, I'm not doing that. I've never watched a fight in its entirety in slow motion. The fact that you even said that is cockamamie, you know what I mean? Or a shoulder injury and salt water and all that. That was the guy that was supposed to beat him. Canelo at one point was the guy that was supposed to beat him. Then he beats him, easy work, especially like the late rounds, 11th round, he was dogging him. He was embarrassing Canelo, toying with him. Oh, he was too green, he was too young. Even though he was big, some people blame the catch weight. Even though he was only 21 years old and you shouldn't be struggling to make weight while your body's still pliable and flexible at the tender age of 21. And if you are struggling that bad to make a catch weight of an additional 2 pounds, you're probably in the wrong division. Anyway, Floyd toyed with him, and now it's like, oh, rematch Canelo now and this. Why didn't you had your shot at it and you lost? You came up short. And it looked like you were about to cry at the press conference. So I agree with Floyd. It's always something. And the other reason, there's several reasons I agree, is because Gennady Golovkin, I told you guys for the long time, I keep it so consistent on my channel. I don't want to see Floyd fight Golovkin unless it's at 160, period. I'm not a big fan of catch weights, and I know firsthand, for a fact, people would blame. Golovkin said he'll come down to 54 or 55 for Floyd only, right? So we haven't seen Golovkin at that. So if Floyd did get in there and dog walk him and school him or stopped him or knocked him down, then it would be another case of the Canelo, like people blame the catch weight, or like a Andre Ward versus Chad Dawson where he came down to weight division, or Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, where there's some type of scapegoat as to why Golovkin did not look the same if in fact he were to lose. What if his power, and Golovkin's 33, I'm trying to school and educate people at the same time. Golovkin has been fighting at middleweight. He is not a huge middleweight, but he's a guy that's clearly walking around bigger than Mayweather in his off season, meaning he's been fighting that weight since an amateur. So he's been fighting at middleweight for amateurs. So you become accustomed, it's customary to make and shed a certain amount of weight. So if he had to go beyond that, sometimes you could deteriorate muscle mass and deplete your muscle mass, especially late in your career. Look at De La Hoya versus Pacquiao. Now, again, I'm not a fan of catchweights in general, but De La Hoya had got stopped to the body by Bernard Hopkins. De La Hoya was 30 plus years old. He had been in wars with Shane Mosley, been in wars with like Ike Corte, and fights with Pernell Whitaker, and fought just about everyone. Fernando Vargas, and Felix Trinidad. He had been through wars. So when he fought Pacquiao, that's why you notice De La Hoya, what did he do after he got mopped up by Pacquiao? He retired because that was the chapter he was at in his career. He lost before. He got stopped worse to the body because he was on the ground rolling around in pain and stuff. So Pacquiao embarrassed him or whatever, but he retired because he knew it was time to hang it up because he was at that point of his career coming down a full weight division. He was clearly dry and dehydrated, period. You know what I mean? Now, again, Canelo was 21 when he fought Mayweather. He shouldn't have had that much difficulty. And if he did, it's a sign that you're in the wrong division. And he stayed pretty much at that division, a.k.a. Canelo weight of 155. So there's some quintessential differences. I don't care who's mad and who doesn't like it. Bottom line is we haven't seen Golovkin perform at 154. You have to look at it too. When you're in a training camp, and I know tons of fighters, when you're in a training camp, most of them are training at a certain weight. You know what I mean? And it's usually higher. It's a higher weight. So Golovkin, they'll do his 30-day weigh-in. Let's say he weighs 169, right? So in camp, he's weighing 169, 173-ish, let's say, hypothetically. So he's training at that weight. So for this one opportunity for a Mayweather sweepstakes, he's going to have to come down all the way to 155, which his body hasn't done. Now, it might be like, oh, that's no big deal. He can easily make it as 5 pounds. But I'm telling you, those last few pounds are the worst. Period. Ask any fighter. Ask Mikey Garcia. If you ever see Mikey Garcia, he lost his title on the scale. I forgot who. He might have been fighting Juan Lopez or somebody, or Rocky Martinez, somebody. He was throwing up. He wasn't eating. He was trying to piss, trying to shit in order to lose a pound or two. And it's rough, especially Mikey Garcia was younger than Golovkin is. So I'm telling you. So I agree with Floyd, because if the fight's not happening at 160, I don't want to see it, because that's a built-in excuse. If he were to lose to Mayweather, instead of giving him credit for his skill set, it would be, oh, Golovkin wasn't the same, because we haven't seen anyone make Golovkin look like a fool. So naturally, if you see him come down to 54 and he were to lose to a guy you think that shouldn't be able to hurt him, there would be built-in excuses. Look at tons of fighters. Look at Brandon Rios versus Timothy Bradley. People make excuses for that fight. Oh, Rios was on the couch for 8 months. Oh, pillow-fisted Bradley, the only reason he stopped him is because Rios didn't train hard. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's always excuses with certain fighters, period. So I think it would be no different for Mayweather. And that's historically. Like I said, I've been doing this long enough. I've had a channel long enough. Historically, it's always a new guy. I remember at one point people were saying Mayweather's a bitch if he doesn't fight Sergio Martinez, because Maravilla was calling him out. But people forget Maravilla was calling out Pacquiao too. And I never seen the same type of, those same people that were constantly leave comments like, oh, Floyd needs to fight Maravilla, he needs to fight Sergio. A lot of those people weren't saying Pacquiao. They're saying, oh, Pacquiao's too small. No, you just know Pacquiao has no shot. Most likely, if he were to go to 154 to fight Sergio Martinez. He had a hell of a time with Margarito, and Pacquiao himself, by his own admission, said that the most difficult fight for him at that time of his career was Antonio Margarito, who's dumbass slow, and that was at 152. So imagine fighting Sergio Martinez, a southpaw, who's probably not going to have any trouble fighting another southpaw who was slick, hands down, had power at 54. It would have been bad. But anyway, I've been doing this long enough, and I keep seeing. I remember, I shit you not, at one point when Ruslan Provodnikov was hot, he called Mayweather out, and he was like looking good and like stopping people or giving people wars like Timothy Bradley and stuff. Called Floyd out, and there were people at the time who were saying Ruslan Provodnikov, Floyd's scared of Ruslan. But now we've seen Ruslan get outboxed by Chris Algieri, Matisse, and more people. Now you don't see those same people. And the point being is it's always somebody new. It's always somebody new. Lucas Matisse, same thing. When he was destroying Humberto Soto and Luis Jose and all them, when he was running through guys, Lamont Peterson, people were saying, oh, Mayweather, he don't want it with the machine. Lucas Matisse, he doesn't want to fight him. Now, we've seen Lucas Matisse lose to Danny Garcia. We've seen him get stopped by Victor Postal. You don't see those same people clamoring for Matisse Mayweather because he's lost before, twice. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia, before he got outboxed by Mauricio Herrera, before he looked shitty versus Lamont Peterson, people were saying Danny Garcia could possibly beat him. So the point is, as you see other fighters keep going on with their careers, a lot of times they look vulnerable. They're not looking flawless, and then you hear those people dry up. Golovkin just happens to be hot still because he's facing a certain level, a certain echelon of competition, and he's looking great while doing it and disposing of those level fighters as he should with his amateur background, his power, and his attributes. But the thing is, when Sergio was hot like that, it was him. When Canelo was undefeated, beating Austin Trout and Mosley easy, and you know what I'm saying, beating Mosley easy and stuff, it was him. So that's what I'm saying. There's always a new boogeyman for Floyd Mayweather. And finally, why does Floyd Mayweather have to fight after 19, 20 years of professional boxing in the sport? Why is the pressure on him to continue proving his greatness in the ring? Meanwhile, you got guys like Canelo. Look at Canelo. His best win is probably Cotto. His other best win, what is it? Lada, a fight that a lot of people thought could have went either way. Austin Trout, another fight that was kind of controversial. James Kirkland, off of a layoff, who's also been stopped before by Ishida. You know what I'm saying? So Canelo's a great fighter, but he's still young. He's still developing his path in the game. You know what I mean? And he's young enough and he's big enough. He's about equivalent size to Golovkin, if not rehydrates bigger. And he's a lineal middleweight champion. And I see more people clamoring for Floyd to fight Triple G and saying Floyd needs to do more after 19, 20 years in the sport of doing more, beating undefeated Ricky Hattons, Diego Corrales, a knockout artist, De La Hoya at 54, Cotto at 54, Maidana twice because you said the first time wasn't convincing enough, Pacquiao after 5 years of debate. And he's the one that has to constantly do more. Golovkin don't have to do more. He can keep knocking out the level of competition that he's been knocking out. Canelo, he beat Cotto. He doesn't have to fight somebody who's about his size, even though he's the lineal middleweight champion. You want the retired guy who's been proving his worth for 19, 20 years to prove more and go up to middleweight or go up to 54 again. Why doesn't Golovkin have to go up? Golovkin don't have to go up to past 160. You want him to stay there and unify the belts. But you want a guy who just turned 39 years old today, almost 40, you want him to continue proving, oh, I'm not convinced. Just, y'all got to stop with the hate, man. And I know there's going to be people mad in the comment section, but I'm Egovel and you can't do nothing about it, and you damn sure can't beat me when it comes to facts. Easy work. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.